Hey, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education for asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. In this episode, I want to talk to you about why can't we love those who love us. This is a dating and relationships episode, so stay tuned. If you don't know who I am Sarah, author of Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of Asexualise.com, the founder of Asexualise Academy, and also the author of this fibromyalgia self-help handbook, which is all about how to manage fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy, and feel happier like a superhero rock star. And I'm known as Ace Fibro Girls. See on the back cover, because Ace is short for asexual, if you didn't already know that. Anyway, to get on to today's episode, why can't we love those who love us? So what do I actually mean about this? And this is specifically dating and relationships video tonight. And the reason I say that is because basically in dating, all right, you're asexual dating. If you're into dating, if you're into having a relationship as opposed to not having a relationship, then it's something that is on your mind quite a lot if you haven't got a partner, especially in the times that we're in at the moment, where there is a pandemic going on still in the world in May 2020 when I'm recording this live. From speaking to my friends, some of them are really feeling like socially isolated, and they're really kind of missing that warmth and companionship you can get from a loving, healthy, happy, committed relationship, right? And so I think, this time's making some of us feel like, we really want to find our partner now. We really want to be with that romantic, special someone if we're a romantic asexual, which obviously there's more romantic asexuals that are into dating and relationships as opposed to aromantic who lack romantic attraction. So basically, I was doing this video tonight because I've had kind of a really strange time over the last, 24, 48 hours. And you might remember last time I did a video, I said that I was talking about, the different people on, for example, the traditional dating site. When I say traditional, sexual, predominantly dating site, mingle2.com. And I was also talking to you about a guy who had messaged me on Facebook. Now, the guy who messaged me on Facebook is Indian, but he's not asexual, and he lives in Greece. So it's not like he's a million miles away from the UK. And it's possible he could have got over here. But the more and more I thought about it, and I didn't hear from him again, he's on my friends list at the moment still, the more I thought about, he's not the right person for me to be in a relationship with anyhow, even hypothetically, because he's got like loads and loads of facial hair. I really don't get attracted to guys with facial hair, especially not when it's completely covered in it. Because I do experience aesthetic attraction. Aesthetic attraction is a big deal to me. That might sound really strange, but aesthetic attraction is something I need in a relationship to be able to be intimate with someone. I can't personally be, when I say intimate, I mean kissing, cuddling. I can't be kissing and cuddling someone I'm not aesthetically attracted to, because if it doesn't look appealing to me, I kind of don't want to eat it. Do you know what I mean? If you're thinking about a piece of cake and you're thinking about eating your favourite cake, that's great. But if there's a cake with an ingredients in it that you don't like the look of, you're not really going to want to eat it. You're going to be like, "Ugh, get it away from me," And there's lots of people that get attracted to different types. There's loads of people attracted to beards and stuff like that. I'm really not, and he's got loads of body hair and he's not asexual. And he's really too old for me, And that is the truth, I am what I call an asexual cougar. I'm attracted to younger guys. There's no two ways about it. I like guys who are like 21 to 24 predominantly. This guy says he's 29, but he looks more like 35. And it is the way it is in life, It's hard when you know you're different sometimes, and that you're different within your difference, So obviously I'm completely asexual because I don't experience any sexual attraction whatsoever, but it's hard when I have all these variables, and I'm sure other people feel the same way sometimes, that there's so many variables to what someone likes in a relationship that it's very, very difficult to find the right person to be in a relationship with. And obviously you've got to love being in a relationship with yourself, the first and foremost. So that person I didn't hear from. And last night I never went to sleep. Like, I didn't sleep at all because there was a guy who is on my friends list. He's been on my friends list for some time. And he is also Indian, and he's 21, and he is so aesthetically beautiful. So aesthetically beautiful. And he's got the most gorgeous smile. And he likes and supports a lot of my pages, which is wonderful, considering he's not asexual, as far as I know. But he's very accepting. He's very accepting. So this guy who's on my friends list, who's Indian 21, I was talking to him, and he was, because I saw one of his posts and he looked like he was really upset and in pain, emotionally. So we started messaging, like he messaged me because he said something like, I've got a blank page or something right now. And I'm like, well, here's a heart for you. So your page isn't blank, And, he came on in private message. We haven't private messaged for a long time. And we got talking and we were like messaging for ages, but he was really in a lot of emotional pain, I'm not going to go into it because obviously it's private, but he kind of needed a really good friend and a really good person to be there for him in that time when he felt no one was really being there for him. And I was glad I could be there for him. But I'm really aesthetically and romantically attracted to this guy. I've known that for a very long time. So it's kind of really difficult for me, And I do believe, I've said before on this channel, I do believe that you should tell a person how you feel, right? Because you only live once in this life, right? And there may be someone who really likes you back and you just don't know it. Yeah, you don't tell them, and that opportunity's gone forever because you went through your life year after year after year and you never told them how you felt. And I'm a big believer in being your true authentic self in the moment, and laying your heart bare sometimes. And it makes you a very vulnerable person, but it also makes you one of the most wonderful human beings at the same time, that you're able to do that. You're able to give love to someone else, knowing that it might not be reciprocated, knowing that that person might laugh at you, knowing that person might think you're really strange or weird, knowing that person might never speak to you again, knowing that person might just be, ew, I don't feel the same way as you, So you have to understand that if you're looking for a relationship, that rejection is part of the course, and you have to be aware of that, And so I was messaging this guy, and, like I said, I am very aesthetically and romantically attracted to him. I didn't really tell him that before. I did actually meet him through a dating group on Facebook, which wasn't for asexuals, but he knew, well, I told him that I was, and he supported my asexual pages as well, which is really sweet. He seems a really nice, kind-hearted person, but I don't obviously know him very well. And so, so I told him while we were messaging, I told him that I was aesthetically attracted to him and romantically attracted to him. I told him in the end. I thought, I've been on this, I didn't get any sleep because I was helping him, because he was going through a tough time in his life, and I wanted to be there for him regardless of whether he likes me back romantically or not. That's not why I did it. I did it because I did it obviously because I do have feelings for him, but it's because I care as a human being, I don't like to see people in pain, and especially if they feel they've got no one else to talk to. So, we had this kind of really amazing message conversation, and they were saying they wanted the same type of relationship as me in essence. But when I met them in this dating group, they also said they wanted marriage, and that's why we decided to leave talking about relationship stuff, because obviously I don't want marriage, but I live in the UK. And as we all know, Indian guys a lot of the time can't get into the UK very easily. And I have to say though, there are Indian guys that do get in this country. You know, there's the ones I've met in the club in my city. One's got his own business. One is working for a company he's worked for 3 years basically, and he's staying here. And the other one is in his first year of studying got a job. So it is possible for Indian guys, if they really want to come over here. You know, it's not impossible. So obviously, if this guy can't get over here by his own accord, which he obviously isn't doing, because he said he doesn't have the money, you know, he said he doesn't come from that type of background, you know. Well, you see, you know, he's poor in that. But I do believe you can turn your life around. I do believe you can change your fate, you know, and you can change your destiny. I believe your destiny is in your own hands. I really do believe that. You know, I believe it's a bit of outside things happen, you don't know, but all we can do is control our own environment within ourselves and what we do, you know. So I think he is looking for someone who is like gonna marry him for a visa, to be quite honest with you, in lots of ways, you know. But he did say to me that I would be interested in the same type of relationship as you. He did say in the end that he'd be interested in a relationship if he was in the UK, but you know, he can't get in this country basically, and that's okay. You know, he goes, oh, and then when he's talking about, you know, being interested in me and the possibility of a relationship if he was over here, he said, you know, I don't mind not having sex, marriage and kids, but I can't get over there anyway. Because he doesn't seem like, I don't think he's asexual, but he seems to be a lot more accepting and understanding of that, having a life without sex, compared to most guys I've met. You know, I have got another Indian friend, the one that I've had online for ages. I think it's about 4 years now, and he could be without sex. I'm pretty sure of it, because he lives a very spiritual life and hasn't got a girlfriend. So there are exceptions to the rule. You know, there are people that are different in this world. But you know, this guy's really young. He's only 21 anyway, and I'd say I like younger guys, 21 to 24. But a lot of the time, they don't know what they want. They're not in a financial position to actually have a relationship. You know, and they haven't worked a lot of their stuff out yet. They've got a lot of self-development work to do. I mean, self-development work's ongoing. You know, with me, I notice things on a daily basis that I need to improve, you know. But you've also got to praise yourself for how far you've come in life, you know. You have to thank yourself and praise yourself. This life is not easy sometimes, as we know. You know, it can be very difficult at times. And sometimes we can lapse back into bad habits. You know, I kind of admittedly feel I've got a bit obsessed more with being on the dating scene more lately, and kind of like I really want a relationship. And you know, I think there's kind of like uncertain times, and the times of socialization, it makes you feel a bit more like I want a relationship, I want someone to cuddle, I want someone to kiss. I think it's kind of natural instinct, if you're romantic in nature, to kind of want someone a lot of the time to be there, to kiss or to cuddle or hold hands or just companionship, that type of thing. I mean, it's a human desire most of the time, a human need, basic human need to have connection with people. You know, so obviously those asexuals that don't want to be in a relationship, the connection comes from the friends, you know, and they might really need to see their friends or feel their, you know, they really need to spend more time with their friends right now, you know. So anyway, this guy, you know, and we were talking, and it was beautiful, but it was also bittersweet as well, because you know, he turned around in this, because I said to him, you know, I said, whatever happens, I want you to find a good girl for you. I want you to be happy in your life, you know. So obviously we couldn't be in a relationship now anyway, because you're in a completely different country. And I wouldn't do an online relationship, never, you know. And then he turned around at the end and said, oh, well, you can find a good girl for me in your country. And then I said, oh, thank you for saying that, because now I know that I wouldn't be suitable for you. And he's like, well, why do you say that? I said, because if soon as I say that, you know, go and basically, you know, like find someone, you know, he immediately starts talking about, again, another girl in this country. And it's because he obviously loves the country, and I understand that. But it's kind of like he never asked to video chat. He's never asked to video chat me, whereas I get that feeling I want to video chat with him, you know? So he can't be the right guy for me. But you know, when the heart flutters somewhat. And wouldn't it be easier if we just love the one that loves us, you know, the one that pops up in our life that says, I love you, you know, like I started talking about in the beginning of this video, that I do believe that you should be open and honest and upfront, that you should be vulnerable and that you should express your feelings. Like I've told him how I feel now, you know, so he knows, right? What he does with that information is up to him. Do you know what I mean? And so it'd be a lot easier if we loved the one that loves us. So, for example, if I had love feelings for him, it'd be great if he reciprocated them, really reciprocate them, and thought, right, I just want to be with Sandra, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm young, I can obviously get multiple jobs, I can go and find a way of getting over to the UK. That type of thing, you know? And a strong guy will do that. The right guy will do that, right? So I hadn't got any sleep. I had to pick up a parcel. So I went to pick up a parcel, having not slept. My body wasn't feeling great because I really, really need to sleep. And I hadn't had much the night before. So this morning I went to pick up a parcel. Well, yesterday morning now, because we've just gone into the next day because it's after midnight now. And when I'm recording this live. And so I had to pick up this parcel, and I had to do a bit of it's my shopping, you know, it's my guinea pig's birthday next month, and because of the social isolation, she lives with my parents, I can't actually see her. I can't go over there and see her for her birthday, you know, she's 4. So I got her a card and a present anyway to give to my dad tomorrow, along with her diabetic needles that he's collecting. So anyway, so I get this person pop up in my, while I'm going to the post office to collect the parcel, I get this person pop up who's on my friends list, been on my friends list for quite some time, who's asexual. And they don't want sex. They hate sex. They really find it disgusting. And every woman that is interested in them wants sex with them. And they were explaining how they love talking to me and they feel happy when they talk to me. And that's great, you know. I want to make my friends happy. I want people to feel good when they're talking to me. Overall, I want the experience to be very good for them. And I was pleased. I mean, I was waiting to collect a parcel, so it was a long queue because we have to keep 2 meters apart at the moment, you know, due to the big virus situation. So yeah, so I was waiting to get his parcel, and he was busy messaging me, and he was talking about you know, how he feels about being an asexual man, that he's very happy he's that, but he wished women didn't want to FCUK him, you know, because that's all they want. And I was explaining that I understand him. Thank you for the thumbs up. I understand him. You know, I feel the same way. I don't even like the FCUK word, to be honest. I do use it occasionally on this channel because obviously, you know, I'm talking about certain situations, but you know, in relation to sex, I don't like the FCUK word. You know, it's really not nice. He said basically that he's fed up of women just wanting to FCUK him, you know. And I said that I understood that, you know, that I felt the same way, that I feel that, you know, that it's always around sex, you know, and people validate a relationship by the amount of sex you are or are having. And to me, that's really wrong. You know, a relationship shouldn't be validated on whether you have sex or not. Heterosexuals seem to think that a relationship is only a relationship if sex is involved. Otherwise, it's a friendship, you know, and it's ridiculous. Eddie, I cannot tell you how many times I had to turn down a girl who wanted to bang me. Yeah, it's like, thanks for the thumbs up. It's lovely to see you, Eddie. Yeah, it's really frustrating, you know. I mean, I get sexual guys all the time interested in me. If I wanted sex, I could go and get a boyfriend just like that. Obviously, I don't, which is what makes it a lot difficult. Now, this guy who I was just talking about that messaged me while I was waiting at the post office to get this parcel. Remember, this is all happening in about since last time I streamed. I hadn't gone to sleep. I went to sleep this afternoon because I was absolutely tired out, but I didn't go to sleep last night, you know? So this is the third person that's spoken to me in like 24 hours, all to do with relationships, right? With me, right? Basically, potentially, right? So, but I didn't mention that we're talking about relationship. So I'm getting to that point, basically. So I was outside the post office, you know, and they were messaging me, which is always kind of difficult when you're trying to do several things at once. I hadn't slept. Remember, I hadn't slept. So he was messaging me, and I was really understanding because I totally get him, right? And he's really proud to be an asexual man. He says that all the time, which is really good. I'm really glad that there's a guy who's really so happy about his asexuality, that he's doesn't care what people think, but he's absolutely fed up of getting women who just want to have sex with him, and it's not what he wants. And so as the conversation was going, we were getting on obviously in message, and he said he loved talking to me because he always feels better when he's talked to me, and he's always said that before to me, right? I can't remember how he met. I'm not sure if we actually met on Facebook or if we met on an asexual dating site. It's possible we met on an asexual dating site. I can't remember. It's a long time ago I've known this person, right? And so, I think they got, I think they've got good intentions. I think they've got overall a good heart where relationships are concerned, right? And so I really understood them. I said, to me, when I even look at someone who's pregnant, it makes me feel sick because I think, ew, you had to have sex to do that. For me personally, as an asexual person, I think sex spoils a relationship. I kind of think it takes away the innocence of a person, the sweetness, the light. That's just my personal opinion. I've had sex in the past, but I personally much prefer a non-sexual intercourse relationship. Like, I don't like anal sex or oral sex or sexual intercourse. When I say I don't like it, I have had, not the anal, thank God. My ex was gonna attempt to do that. Adina Avery, I agree. Oh, thanks, Adina. Lots of love to you. Nice to see you. So I haven't had anal sex, thank God, like I said, because my ex was gonna try that with it. He put the tip there, and I'm like, no. So I have had oral sex in the past. I have had sexual intercourse in the past, right? I was with someone for 8.5 years in a serious committed heterosexual relationship and didn't realise I was asexual, right? And he was good at sex compared to the other 4 people I have had it with that are not good, right? And so he used to do a lot of other stuff besides the actual intercourse, which is why it was a good experience overall compared to all the other stuff, right? But obviously, I don't need the sex. I didn't need it. I prefer. I'm glad I tried it. So for me personally, I'm glad I tried it because I'm a romantic and because I have high arousal levels, which I didn't realise was separate to sexual attraction at the time. I'm glad I personally tried it for me because I know definitely for me that I definitely don't experience sexual attraction, that it is arousal, right? So, and but if I'd have known it was meant to be painful, meant to be, luckily, it wasn't that painful when I first tried it. But if I'd have read some of the horror stories that other people have told me, or some even stuff they've got information somewhere, I'm like, I probably wouldn't have tried it. Yeah, because I don't like pain and I don't associate sex with love. I really, really don't. And so I was explaining, that when I see a pregnant person, to me it was just like, oh, you've had sex and I don't want to know about it. It's like, I know you've done that now. And to me, it just really spoils it for people. It really spoils the whole situation. So anyway, as the conversation went on with this guy, who's my Facebook friend, he started saying that I wish me and you lived near each other because I'd like an asexual girlfriend. I would like a partner, Sandra. And I said, oh, well, thank you for your feeling, because I was glad he told me, despite the fact that I don't actually want a relationship with him. I was glad that he had the courage to tell me how he felt. We wish we lived nearer because he wanted a asexual girlfriend. He's fed up with women who want sex, and he knows I don't want sex, right? That was my past I had sex in. I'm not having it again. I haven't had it since 2011, right? So I don't want that again, right? I want a sex-free relationship forever. So he admitted to me how he felt. And I've always said on this channel, it's very important to admit how you feel, to tell the person how you feel, because they might feel the same way. Now, I get attracted romantically and aesthetically to younger foreign guys, or even if they're not foreign, it's very, very young guys, usually in the early 20s, Occasionally I'll get attracted to a British guy, but not very often. And when I say foreign, I like coloured skin, so beautiful. I particularly like Indian guys, Bangladesh, Middle Eastern, that type of look, right? And so, I said to him, oh, thank you. And I did say, romantically, I am attracted to younger guys, usually foreign, and Indian is my top, basically, preferably. And so I didn't then expect him to turn around and say to me, oh, Sandra, I've been thinking I'd like us to have a conversation every week, a weekly conversation from now on. And I'm like, okay. And I thought he meant just messaging, because he doesn't message me very much. So I thought, well, if he wants to I said, well, if you want to message me, then I'll reply when I can, because I get really busy with work. But I didn't realise he then turned around and said, oh, I want us to speak at a specific time on Saturday every single week. And I was like, no, I can't do that because I've got work. I'm actually Skyping my best asexual friend again on Saturday, and he wanted to do it on Saturday. I'm like, no, I have to do my work. I can't commit to that. And so, if you are going to if you are going to admit your feelings for someone, and you're going to actually request them to basically start chatting with you, right? You need to do it like in a time when they're not really rushing around like I was. They've had some sleep, and also you shouldn't expect to go from no contact, haven't spoke to you for ages, to all of a sudden I want to speak to you every single week at this certain time. That's not fair to the other person, right? If you want to do a Skype date with someone, then you would arrange that with them. You'd ask them when they're free to do it and what times you were thinking of, and you'd ask for like a one-off first of all to see how it went. But I've told him that I'm attracted to younger foreign guys, and I had to say no. So whilst it's great to admit how you feel for someone, you can't always love the person who loves you. You can't always expect the person who you love to love you back in the romantic sense, in the relationship sense, right? So I went in the space of about 48 hours from having a guy who's Indian in Greece, not asexual, talking about potential relationship with me, then to the younger guy, 21, who I'm really aesthetically and romantically attracted to, wish he was in this country, really would like a relationship if he was any good for me, but I don't know him well enough, from asexual romance, he would be my ideal type of guy to be in a relationship with, but that's no good if he can't hold an intelligent conversation. But I was having a really good conversation with him, actually. I think he is intelligent, and it's no good if you want marriage, because I definitely don't want that. And then I went to this other guy who hasn't spoke to me for a very long time. He occasionally randomly messaged me like every few months, which is no basis or foundation for a relationship anyway. And he lives in America, but told me he then wants to speak to me every week. Now, I appreciate his heart. I appreciate his feelings. I appreciate the fact that he's like me and wants a relationship without sex. And he knows I'm a good person. And I appreciate him for that. And I'm so glad he told me how he felt. But I don't feel the same way. I'm not romantically or asexually attracted to him. So I had to tell him the truth, And that's what I wanted to say with this video. It's a shame that we can't love the ones that love us. The ones that come in our life that are like, oh, I want a relationship with you, I love you. Well, he didn't use the words I love you, but obviously if a guy wants to start having a conversation with you every single week at a set time, prime time as well at the weekends, given his weekends up, it's obvious he very, very much really, really cares about the person and is really serious about wanting to possibly get into a relationship. But he lives in a completely different country anyway. I don't want to give my time up regularly to someone unless I know it's someone that I really, really would love to be in a relationship with, or someone who's already my best friend, and then you might say, well, why can't you be with one of your best friends, Sandra? Because this is something that goes through my mind a lot with other people. It's like, well, you've got this person who you're really close to as a friend. Why can't you be in a relationship with them? Because that would make a lot more sense. You're already best friends with them. You already know each other inside and backwards. You already trust each other, which is the foundation for a relationship. And wouldn't it be lovely if we could just get that with one of our friends, that they everything just fitted in? But it's not like that in life, unfortunately. Like, I am female, clearly. Well, some people, maybe it's not clear with these days, but because obviously there's agender, transgender, gender fluid. Some people that have got a female body but a trans man, and vice versa. So I am female. I was born female. I want to stay female, but my close asexual friends are into guys. My best asexual friend is into guys. There is or women that look like guys, and I clearly don't, and I don't want to be a guy. I don't want to change to be a guy. It's taken me quite some years, but I'm really happy with my body. I like the female body that I've got. I don't like female bodies in general. They make me feel sick looking at other women's naked bodies, because I'm naked repulsed. I don't like looking at the naked body. I don't mind a guy's chest, but I like a clean shaven chest. Like, I don't like chest hair. And I don't like mussy guys. I like thin, soft, gentle boy next door types. It's just the way I like it, you know. A lot of women in the world, they like these muscly types, you know, and that was what the problem was with the first guy I spoke to as well. He's like, I'm the perfect man. I'm like, really, you're not. You know, to me, you're not very good looking at all, aesthetically, but I wanted to get to know him as a person. You know, I can't be dealing with all that hair. It makes him look so much older. Like, he looks like much older than he is, what he says he is. And, you know, he's not asexual, you know, and he hasn't got the physique that I even like, you know. He's too old for me and he's just wrong for me, you know. But I wanted to get to know the person because, you know, I can get aesthetically attracted to someone who I haven't been initially for if I really get to know them, if I think there's any kind of like other attraction chemistry going on, if it's emotional, romantic and stuff, you know. Like with Indian guys, I tend to instantly get a little bit of romance sometimes. Romance or aesthetics or both. So yeah, so you know, it's been a very interesting 48 hours. Like, a lot's happened, you know. And you know, if the guy in America was over here and I felt that way about that age of guy and I really liked him, you know, it might be different, but he's not aesthetically my type, he's not romantically my type. I personally don't get attracted to older guys. You know, I get attracted to younger guys. For me, being with an older guy, it doesn't feel comfortable for me, doesn't feel right for me, you know. So I need a guy who's into older girls, but and I you know, I'm into younger guys. It's just the way it is in my life, you know. I don't think I could be happy with someone who's older. I would maybe a little bit older, like 28 would be quite good, in the sense that, you know, they tend to know a lot more what they want. They've got their own money by then. There's more chance of having a proper serious committed relationship. And in the late 20s and the early 20s, I think they've got their life together, you know, they know what's going on more. But they're also kind of like sometimes more stuck in their ways, whereas a guy who's younger, you can kind of maybe influence a little bit more sometimes, in a good way, not in a bad way. Help them in their life and stuff like that. So, you know, but I've got a friend who's been on this channel and his fiance is 23 and he's 58. 35 years difference between them. And so, you know, he likes younger girls and they're so much in love. He came on this channel, he was in the chat not many, you know, a few days ago, and they are so in love. It's the most beautiful asexual relationship, but they're both asexual, you know. So I do need a young guy for me. Like, he needed a young girl, that he's got the girl of his dreams, you know. They're so much in love. So I know fairy tales can come true, dreams can come true. I see it in front of me. I see people that are so deeply in love with each other that it seems like it's only what fairy tales are made of, yet it's in reality. It's people are experiencing the love from movies that is actually in the real life. And that's why when people say, oh, this is not realistic, this is not true love, this is just a fallacy, this is just fictitious romanticism in films, I see people, like I said, this guy, he's with his young fiance every single day, he's messaging her every single day, he's so in love with her every single day, they're just having beautiful conversations, they're just really loving each other, you know. There's so much love, and this has been going on for a long time, you know, a long time. And so it's not just temporary, you know, because obviously a lot of the romance in films, it's just kind of like temporary, you know. Like, there's like known in reality, it's a 3-month honeymoon period, and it's kind of all over and goes downhill from there. Like, you know, the romantic feelings, kind of like all the romantic passion, excitement goes, and all that type of thing. Sometimes it takes a year for it to go, but you know, these are people like that have been in serious committed relationships. One of my asexual friends is married to his asexual partner, and they're so much in love, so it can happen, you know. I've known other people that have got their soulmates that aren't asexual, you know. I knew someone who was with his girl since they were 15 years old together, you know, and he was 21 when I left my job. I think, was he 21 or in his 20s? But anyway, he'd been with his girl for like, I think, nearly 6 years in total. Even later, longer than that, when I left, I think, my old job. So, you know, it's just incredible what can be achieved, you know. So I do think that you can get the romance magic that's in films, but it's probably a different type. But you know, unfortunately, it doesn't always work out that the person who loves you back, or the person that you want a relationship with wants a relationship back with you, you know. Like, it's so frustrating sometimes, because it would be a lot easier, wouldn't it, if one of my closest friends was compatible with me, but they're really not romantically compatible with me. You know, they want different things in a relationship. I'm not a guy, and so that would never work out romantically, you know. And so it is a shame sometimes. I think it's a shame, but I say it's a shame, but it's not a shame because obviously there's different people that you're meant to be friends with, and different people you're meant to be in a romantic relationship with, or different people you're meant to be in a relationship with, or if you're romantically inclined, you know. So I believe everything happens for a reason, but you know, I think it's hard because you have to be best friends with that person before getting into a relationship with them. So because my two bestest friends are into guys and clearly I'm female, that is never going to work romantically. So I have to yet meet my guy, another best friend, that can be like the romantic best friend, love of my life. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, it'd be so much easier. Wouldn't it be easier if I liked the guy in America and we got on really well? We did message and then he came over here. But I know I don't feel that way towards him. I know already as soon as he started saying about, oh, we'll message every week at a set time. I mean, one, you can't really ask that to someone, expect someone to do that if you've barely spoke to them for months. Do you know what I mean? It's not fair on the person, whoever it is. You know, like I said, if you are really interested in someone, it's someone you don't usually talk to, then you should just request one like video call with them, one Skype date, not expect them to give their whole time up for you week after week. That's unfair expectations. But it, you know, like even with my best asexual friend, I have to like range it the next time I'm Skyping them whilst I'm still in that Skype session, if you know, a Skype session, I say. Whenever I say that, my friends like, it sounds like you're a psychiatrist or something. Skype chat, Skype friendship chat, right? So, you know, it's kind of like while I'm in that Skype friendship chat, I have to then make arrangements for the other one. And I usually like have to have 3 or mostly 4 days of work, then another Skype chat, because we have epic Skype chats. The last one was over 10 hours, you know. So that's a lot of time taken out of our own work and our own life for each other. But we really, really feel good that we Skype each other, you know. So we have to change the times a little bit. I have to change the dates. I can't stick to the same date and time each week. Just impossible for me because I need to do my own work and things crop up, you know. So I think it'd be so much easier if we just love the ones that love us, you know, like the person in front of us that want a relationship with us. It'd be so much better if we wanted it back. But obviously some people that want a relationship with us are actually no good for us to be in a relationship with. So obviously that protects us in some ways because, you know, if the person's not right for us, you know, like they might not be right in personality to be in a relationship with, even though they're okay in personality to be in a friendship with. They might, you know, like this person that wanted to like start like chatting with me regularly. They like I said, they live in a completely different country. So it would never work. I don't want a long distance relationship. You know, it's not, and it's not, I know that person is just too old for me. Not because they're old per se, but just because they're too old for me to be in a relationship. I'm not aesthetically or romantically attracted to them. I need kissing. I need a lot of kissing. I can't kiss a guy who I'm not aesthetically attracted to. I'm not aesthetically attracted to them. You know, and there's an older guy in this country who I get on incredibly well with, you know, incredibly well with. And he's part Indian as well, but I couldn't be in a relationship with him because I'm not aesthetically and romantically attracted to him, even though probably aesthetically a lot of women would be interested in him. Because of the fact he keeps himself fit for his age. He's just not my type romantically or aesthetically because I like younger guys and I can't force myself to be someone I'm not, you know? So it would be so much easier, and I understand the frustration of anyone who's listening to this who thinks, God, why can't the person that I actually fancy or I'm really into, want a relationship with, want that back with me, right? And I understand because I get frustrated. You know, I've had like 3 people I spoke to. The middle one, the second one I spoke to, the guy who's 21, like he romantically and aesthetically, he would be my ideal type to be in a relationship with. In terms of like actually being in a relationship and relationship skills, probably he would know what he was doing enough because he's too young in the sense and inexperienced, I think. I don't think he's at the stage where he would be able to actually necessarily have a relationship yet with someone serious, ongoing for a long time. But I don't know, you know. I mean, if he was over here, I think things might be different. But then, you know, you never know. So if he really does like me, then he will find a way, won't he? But I don't think he likes me that much, you know? A guy who really loves someone will do anything, whatever it takes to be with the girl he loves. You know, I've learnt this from other foreign guys, you know? There's one foreign guy who I know, and he literally would, like, you know, like, save all the money up to as many jobs as he can, whatever it took to get into a country to be with the woman he loved. He told me that. He said, do not be fooled by guys who tell you they can't come in your country, who tell you, oh, I can't do this. They don't really love you, Sandra. Beware, there's loads of them, you know? And when this second guy said to me, oh, about, you know, me finding him a girl in my country, I'm like, no. At the end of the day, there's no woman in my country that's going to marry some stranger for a visa. Like, this guy I don't know, even though he's on my friends list, even though I'm asexually and romantically attracted to him, I do not know him. Right? So I'm not that kind of crazy that I would just jump into a relationship with someone I don't know, you know, at all. It would just be insanity. But I just wanted to do this video because I wanted to show my appreciation for everyone who you know, who's struggling right now, and everyone who's like, why can't the person in front of me that I really, really care about and like love me back? Do you know what I mean? Because it's really difficult. It is really difficult. Like, I do get tearful, I admit, about the fact I think I'm meant to be with an Indian guy, and he hasn't obviously shown up in my life yet. And it worries me, the fact I get so upset about that, because I'm like, why do you get upset about that, Sandra? At the end of the day, if he's meant to show up in your life, he'll show up. Doesn't matter if it's 10, 20 years later, if it's meant to happen, it will happen. So you shouldn't worry about it. But because I kind of like keep thinking I knew him from a past life and keep like missing him from that life or whatever, or missing him from my life, it's kind of like not easy. I'm a very emotional person, and I do wear my heart on my sleeve, you know? But I'm just thinking, you know, there's so much I've got to do in my own life, you know, there's so much I've got to do career-wise, and it really isn't the right time for me to be getting into a relationship now. So, you know, I think it's good for me to like try and detoxify myself from thinking about being in a relationship. I think at the moment, I think I have to stop perusing dating sites as much at the moment and just spend a bit more time with me, quality time with me. I've been watching Frozen, the movie Frozen, today, and getting some sleep, a lot of sleep, because I hadn't had much for 48 hours. So, you know, especially not in the last 24 hours, I hadn't until I slept, and I was not feeling great. So I think it's really important to, you know, understand there's always a reason why you can't love the one that's right in front of you. And in the movies, it does usually work out that one of the people right in front of your nose that you never thought was suitable for being in a relationship ends up being that way. But for me, in all honesty, there isn't a guy that's going to happen with, because the guys that are in my life that I'm close to, or the people that are in my life that I'm close to, don't, you know, like me in that way. They're attracted predominantly to guys, you know, they need to be with a guy or someone who doesn't look like me, female, and I accept that, you know. And I believe there's someone for everyone, you know, I really do. But I just wanted to like do this video because I know it's very frustrating. You know, you might have a friend that you really like, that you wish to, oh, why can't I be in a relationship with them? It'd be so much easier. I like them, I get on really well with them, everything feels right, but there's just something that's not right. You know, for me, I'm not the right gender for my friends. You know, I like kissing way too much. I like snogging for a long time. You know, and so that does make life more complicated and difficult. But we must remember that everything happens for a reason, and the person who is meant to be in our life romantically, if we're wanting a romantic relationship, will turn up. And if they don't, it means that we had to be single forever. It's just the way our life worked out actually better, because whatever's meant to be is meant to be. I might be suited better to being single forever. I mean, the lifestyle I live is very different. It's not really relationship material lifestyle, you know? I mean, I predominantly go to sleep at 4 a.m. in the morning. I get up at midday. I don't go to bed at normal times. I never want to. I hate that life. I have less energy, far less energy if I go to bed at 10, half 10 at night. I mean, I haven't done that for years. Like, I have to sleep when I'm tired. Sleep when I'm tired, you know. So sometimes if I wanted to sleep in the day, if I haven't slept much for hours and days, then I'll go to sleep in the day, you know. But it's always preferable for me to sleep in the day and work in the night. I do my best work at night. I can focus more at night usually. you know, so I can't live with someone, you know, and be in the same room as them because it would just not work out. Because I need to be up. Like I've got this Mac that I'm talking to you on now, this Apple Mac. It's in a wardrobe with loads of business books and business stuff. You know, it's in what we call a workstation wardrobe. What we call we in the furniture industry, because I used to work in the furniture industry. This used to be something I sold. This used to be a showroom model that I bought when I was made redundant years ago. And you know, and for me, it's imperative that I live my life the way I need to live it because I'm happier like that. I'm more happy than I've ever been through living this upside down life. I don't want sex. I don't want marriage. I don't want kids. I don't want to sit there watching TV. To me, that's a waste of my life. I got so many life missions to complete, so many life purposes, so much vigor and energy, usually, that I just need to live this life, you know? And probably none of those people are right for me. The three people I spoke to, like I said, the first guy, he's not asexual. He's just not my asexual. It's like the second guy, even though I'm a romantic and aesthetically attracted to him, I think probably you'd want more of the normal life, more of the marriage type of life, and that really isn't who I am. And, you know, the other guy is someone who's a nice person, but he's not my aesthetic or romantic type. He's just too old for me personally. It's okay for some other women. It's just not my type, you know. And the fact he doesn't really speak to me very often at all. Like it's like once every blue moon, like every few months or whatever. It's not any good for like I haven't spoke to you. Then all of a sudden I want to speak to you every week at set time. It's not. It's not, you know, like had he approached me and said he wanted to Skype or video chat with me on Facebook for like, you know, and when was I free? Because he knows I'm busy and, you know, I don't know if I could say that, but I had to tell him I don't want to sit there being uncomfortable knowing that he's attracted to me and I'm not attracted to him. Do you know what I mean? It's better to be honest with the person. You know, it's much better to be honest. You know, it's no offense to him. He's a nice person. It's just I'm not attracted to him. He's not my type. And so, you know, I think you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with the other person. And, you know, honestly, I don't want to ever jeopardize my own happiness or my own way of life and lifestyle and not have this lifestyle. This lifestyle is something that I've needed for a long time. You know, it's completely different to the lifestyle I used to have years ago. You know, I used to be miserable years ago. I used to be depressed, unhappy, suicidal even, and I lived the normal life for years, you know, where you go to bed early or try to go to bed early at 10:30, 11 or whatever, and you know, and I lived that life of where 9 to 5 job, and I lived that life of coming home to a partner watching TV together, and to be honest, it was just horrible for me. I never was happy back in that life. I wasn't happy with the person I was with because they weren't nice to me overall, but I wasn't even happy with the life. I was bored. I was doing some writing, which was the only thing that made me really happy. And it's like, and I went to some places with them. I mean, it was good because we did go away quite a bit together. So I visited a lot of nice places, done a lot of activities. So all that was good. But actually, the lifestyle, you know, I much prefer the one I have now. I much prefer being sex free. I like that. I much prefer, you know, just the wonder of the night. Like I don't like sleeping with the light off either. It has to be on. I have to have a light on, or I have to sleep in daylight, basically. And so, you know, I live a very, very different lifestyle to most people. I don't honestly know if that'll ever fit in with anyone. I mean, me and my best friend that aren't suitable romantically, our lifestyles are very similar, I guess, which is the closest person I've ever found who's similar to me in their lifestyle, you know? So, but we can't be in a relationship because, like I said, they're into guys and not kissing and stuff romantically. We wouldn't be suitable. But I want them to find a really good person for them, like they want me to find a really good person for me, because we're both really kind-hearted people, and you know, and so you know, like if I like that guy back in America who likes me, you know, who knows what might have happened, you know. And if the young guy who's 21 had actually like decided, oh right, well I really like Sandra, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to be with her, then that might have changed things. And if the guy who was in Greece like shaved off all his facial hair and shaved his chest hair, that might have, and doesn't care about not having sex, and he's got his own business, like he's got his own, like he worked well. I don't know if it's his own business, but he works for a company. You know, he's got a good job. So it's not like, and he's got friends in the UK, so it's not like he couldn't come over here. Do you know what I mean? To meet up. So, you know, it's all ifs, isn't it? But what we need to work with is not if this, if that. We need to work through the reality of the situation. I've spoke about this before. And, you know, about the fact that we can't project on people. We can't project on to people what we wished would happen. We have to deal with what actually is happening in the here and now. We can't deal, you know, we can't project ourselves in a fantasy land of something that's not actually happening now. Like I personally, because I'm in control of my own life, I can make my dreams come true with resources and tools. You know, like if I want to go to Disneyland Paris in the future, I can like get, you know, like somehow get the money together to go there, right? Because I love living, you know, I love living in Disneyland Paris. I love being in Disneyland Paris. Yeah, I would like to live there as well, but not well there. Just live, enjoy bliss. But you know what I mean? Like I believe in making dreams come true. If I, you know, if I wanted to do a horse and cart ride, I would go and hire one. You know what I mean? If I wanted to be a princess, I would dress like one. Do you know what I'm saying? There's ways that you can make your own kind of like fairy tales come true. You know. But obviously you can't make the fairy tale come true of another person who you want to fall in love with you fall in love with you. You can't control that. You can't control another's actions. You can't control another's emotions, and you shouldn't want to either. So you just have to live in hope that and faith that that person will turn up, or you're actually not meant to be with someone because you're better off on your own. You know, if I think about the negative stuff of my past and negative relationships, you know, it makes me not want a relationship ever again. But if I look on the positive side and have faith, then it's kind of like I will find a good guy for me because I deserve one, you know, and I'll find that romantic Indian guy and it will just be awesome, you know. So I think, you know, you've just got to live in the reality of now and understand that rejection will happen, that we can't always expect the people that we fall in love with to love us back, that we get romantic feelings for to have romantic feelings back for us. I think it's important to take risks and just put your feelings out there, you know, and if it's not reciprocate, it's not reciprocate, but then you can move on, you know, then you can move on. Like if I didn't tell the guy from America, be honest with him and say, I'm into younger foreign guys, like he wouldn't be able to move on. Do you know what I mean? That would be wrong of me not to tell him. So if you are rejecting someone, right, you don't want to reject someone, because I know in some asexual groups, it's like, how do I tell someone I'm not interested in a relationship with them? I don't want to hurt their feelings, but you have to tell them. You have to set them free to be with someone who can love them, be with someone who can cherish them forever in the way that they need and want, in the way that's best for them. So it's better to let them go and be honest with them with an open heart and say, I really appreciate you feeling that way about me. Don't crush their feelings. Don't step all over them. You know, so I really appreciate you feeling that way, but I just don't feel the same. You know, I say that I'm not aesthetically or romantically attracted to someone if I'm not. You know, because it isn't any reflection of them. It's just that I'm not aesthetically or romantically attracted to them. It's just the way I feel. You know, so let them down gently, but let them down honestly. Don't go around carrying it on for months. Like I could have carried that on for months with him. I could have just kept putting off. I could have just kept saying, no, I can't talk to you. I'm busy, which is true. I am really busy. I only want to reserve my time for people who really, really, really very, very, very important in my life, you know? And for people who like, you know, I've known for a long time, not someone I don't know that well, who just randomly expects me to like be there every single week. Showing up, it's you know, it's not actually fair to anyone to expect that, you know. So my message is that if you are looking to get into a relationship with another asexual, and you know, if it's someone you haven't messaged much, why aren't you messaging them? If you really like them that much, why aren't you messaging them? Why aren't you getting to know them in text and then arranging a video call? We're not expecting them to do it all the time, just like arranging a one-off to see how it goes, you know. Do that because it's important. But if the person says no, you know, like it's okay if someone doesn't feel attraction back to you. It's okay if someone doesn't romantically want to be with you. It's okay. But the point is, two adult human beings need to realize you can give your feelings, you can express your feelings, you can tell someone you love them or you've loved them for a long time, didn't want to say, you can express your feelings to them. And they equally can express their feelings back to you. So you can say, you know, like I've got feelings for you. You know, I've had them for a while and this is how I feel. And if the person says stuff back that's the same, great. But if they don't and say, I just don't feel that way, you know, it's good. This is how we move on. You know, there's so many people in the world that are lingering on of the possibility of a relationship, never actually knowing if that person's going to want them back. And they just spend months and years of their life hankering after a person that might never want to be in a relationship with them ever. And rather than risk like actually the truth, they want to actually pretend that they don't, you know, well, not even pretend, they want to not actually ask because they don't want they think the truth is going to hurt them, right? I'll be far more hurt in the long run if someone just kept me hanging on who I'm romantically interested in and they didn't have the heart to tell me, sorry, I'm not romantically interested in you. That is worse for me. I'd rather someone let me go to be free to be with someone who can love me the way I need to be loved, someone who can be romantic with me, you know? So as adults and as open, honest people, we should be able to be rejected, handle rejection, not being afraid of it. And we should also be a type of person, if we do have to reject someone, we let them down gently, but in a very honest and open way. You should never ever lie to someone to save their feelings, ever. You should be honest and open and say, look, I just don't feel that way. I appreciate you as a friend. I care about you, but I'm not romantically or aesthetically or whatever it is interesting you. I don't see us being in a relationship because it wouldn't work. And this is a reason where it wouldn't work. I think it's a lot better if you can give a reason why it wouldn't work. I mean, if I'm not aesthetically or romantically attracted to someone, I can't be in a relationship with them. You know, maybe some people could, but I couldn't, right? And so it's very important that we have, as adults, open, honest conversations with each other. You know, this is what happens a lot of the time in relationships and dating. There's not enough open, honest communication going on. And there's, you know, then this leads to like misinterpreted situations. This ends up in feelings being just squashed down or repressed or suppressed for months. This ends up with us leaving us wondering and lingering, does this person like us back romantically or not? Especially to ask them, you know, even if you don't tell them how you feel, like to say, you know, how do you feel about me? Do you just like me as a friend or do you like me romantically? If you're interested in a romantic relationship, be honest, just ask them. If you don't want to say how you feel, be honest. You know, I took a risk by telling the 21-year-old how I feel when I don't even know him that well. But I like him romantically, so, but I'm like thinking, well, at least he knows now. He can park that in his mind. And he can move on. He can move on to other women, do what he likes, because I've told him, you know, whatever happens, I'll be happy for him. But he knows always in the back of his mind now that I am aesthetically romantically attracted to him. Obviously, if I find someone else, I've told him, like I said, if you ever come, you know, if he ever comes in this country, came in this country and I was still single, I would and, you know, basically I would consider a relationship with him if he was in this country because I'm asexually romantic attracted to him. If I got to know him, if we had lots of video chats, if I think he thought he was a good person, I say consider it. I didn't say I'd be in a relationship with him. It's a big difference, you know, because he just might not be the right type of person. I think, you know, he's got a lot of work to do on himself, self-development, you know, to be stronger in himself. I think quite a lot of the guys I'm meeting lately are like that as well, you know. I consider myself a strong person, but I've also got weaknesses, you know, I've also got things that I need to sort out. I mean, learning is ongoing, you know, we should also be developing and growing ourselves always as human beings. So what I would say is if you are in love with someone, if you've had a crush for a long time, if you really want to be in a relationship with someone, I say have an open, honest conversation about how you feel. If they're your true friend, they'll stay with you no matter what. If they're not, they'll go, right? And if they go out of your life, they were never right for you to be in a relationship in the first place if they can easily go just like that, even if you've been friends for years, right? People who are adults should be able to have open, honest communication without it being uncomfortable. Maybe it might be a little bit uncomfortable possibly, but, you know, when I talk to my friends, because I fancy some of my friends, you know, they're all cool about it. They just like are used to it. Like I because I'm a hyper romantic and because I experience multiple attractions, I get aesthetically attracted to like one of my friends. I get like romantically attracted to the other one. You know, we just have open, honest conversations. But I can't be in a relationship with them. And you know, like it's good in terms of romance because romantic things can go more, but then they can crop back up again for me. So you know, and once I find the right person to be in a relationship with, then obviously my attention will be more on them. So the aesthetic attraction or any romantic attraction I have for someone else will die down. It'll be in the background. It'll be dull. It won't be predominant because I'll be focusing much more on the romantic person I'm actually in the relationship with in terms of attractions, you know, which will be better for me in that way. But, you know, be happy and be healthy. You know, the best type of relationship to be is with yourself. So, you know, you can actually love the one you're with. And although you might not be able to love the one with you right in front of you as your friend, or maybe it's a work colleague you really, really want to be in a relationship with, or whatever it is, maybe you're not suitable, but you can still get love from within yourself. And you've really got to carry on working on yourself, working on your self-esteem, self-growth, and work on loving you. Because that's the most bestest type of love and relationship we're ever going to have. You know, you live with yourself 365 days a year. If you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to have a very happy life. So work on yourself, keep developing, growing yourself, you know, because if you do, it will help you in a future relationship anyway, if you get into one. So it's a win-win. You've got nothing to lose. And you've got nothing to lose by telling the person about the fact that you're interested in a relationship with them if you are. I do believe you should tell the person, and if the person's not interested, you can move on. I do not like it in these movies when I see this person's in love with this person, but really that person's better for them, that are in love with them. And if they weren't with that person, they probably would love that person back, but they just can't see that person as such a better person for them. So they stay with the idiot usually. Or this person's loved this person for years, but they just haven't said anything. Those type of movies just drive me crazy. I'm like, if you like someone, you're attracted to them, tell them. They can say no. They can say maybe. They can say possibly. Not right now. They can do whatever. But you have to be detached from the outcome. You have to stay detached, and knowing whatever happens to them, or whatever happens in the relationship or potential relationship, or doesn't happen, is fine. You know, it's okay. You have to be detached. So you tell them how you feel. If they reject you and say no, you're like, okay, it's fine, it's cool. Move on. Next person. Right, next person. Dating and relationships is a numbers game, unfortunately. There are thousands of people out there. Thousands of asexuals. So everyone, do not give up. Keep the relationship going with yourself. Love the one you're with, which is you. And, you know, and just have open, honest conversations. And when someone's not going to give you the relationship you want, you move on. Right? You move on. Romantically. Obviously, if they're a friend, it's difficult sometimes. Because you then got to put your mind back thinking they're just a friend. And sometimes it's always what if. So you might have to spend less time with that friend. If you are really liking them, like if I like a guy aesthetically, it doesn't really matter. I can deal with not being in a relationship with them. But if I like them romantically, or have got a huge emotional connection, if I got multiple attractions for them, it then is harder for me to just be their friend. But it's possible, because you just have to know in your mind that person's not right for you to be in a relationship with. And therefore, they're not right for you, and you move on to someone else romantically. It can be done. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Eddie. Thanks for Dina in the chat. I really, really appreciate you being here. Lots of love to you. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts on this. If you've been in any situation where you've wanted a relationship with someone for years and you've never told them, or have you been in a situation where you had to reject someone, basically you had to tell them, you know, I'm not interested in a relationship with you, and let them down gently? How did you go about that? Please put it down in the comments below. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Lots of love. And so, yeah, so, you know, just be kind, be your true authentic self, express from your heart, live with passion, tell someone how you feel. If they don't reciprocate, know that you're perfectly okay, right? Detach from outcome. Don't worry about it. Whether they say yes, they want to be in a relationship with you, or they say no. Be good either way, right? This is strength of character. This is strength of your heart. Because so long as you still love yourself, doesn't matter if the person doesn't love you back in a relationship sense. Because you still yourself to love. You see, this is why it's so important to self-love all the time. Fill your cup up. Do what makes you excited, happy, joy, passionate about. You know, just do what makes you happy, because you are worth it. Anyway, until next time, brace your cuggy and each other. I absolutely love this live stream. I absolutely love talking to you. as always, like I just said, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live. Then you can join the conversation from the beginning. If you haven't seen this whole video, do watch it back from the beginning, because every live stream is then in my channel videos. So I love you and leave you for now. If you've got any questions, like I said, pop them down below in the description. And if you like this video, thumbs up away. Thank you so much. Lots of love for all the thumbs up already. Take care. Lots of love, my friends. Take care of you. Bye. Racial cracking on each other's. Bye.